Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy, and I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Niv, and we are in the book of Numbers, and we are in chapter 17, which is all of 13 verses. And we're going to do the whole thing, so let's jump in. The budding of Aaron's staff. So for a brief recap, we've had some rebellion happen, we had some earthquake happen, we had some people being swallowed up, we had people like fleeing and running around, and then there was, because of the insolence, some plague starting to spread, and then we had Aaron coming to the rescue of the people and stopping the plague, being the barrier between the living and the dead. So, the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and get 12 staffs from them, one from the leader of each of their ancestral tribes. Write the name of each man on his staff. On the staff of Levi, write Aaron's name," because he's the oldest son. So that's valid. For there must be one staff for the head of each ancestral tribe. Place them in the tent of meeting in front of the testimony where I meet you. The staff belonging to the man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of this constant grumbling against you by the Israelites. God is deciding to settle the matter so there will be no more infighting. So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and their leaders gave him 12 staffs, one for each leader of each of the ancestral tribes, and Aaron's staff was among them. Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of testimony. The next day, Moses entered the tent of testimony, and so that Aaron's staff, which represented the house of Levi, had not only sprouted, but had budded, blossomed, and produced almonds. So it just became a whole tree, like overnight. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from the Lord's presence to the Israelites. They looked at them, and each man took his own staff. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Put back Aaron's staff in front of the testimony to be kept as a sign to the rebellious. This will put an end to their grumbling against me, so they will not die." Moses did just as the Lord commanded. The Israelites said to Moses, "We will die. We are lost. We are lost. Anyone who even comes near the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all going to die?" Because they were told to come get their staff. So, all of a sudden, now they're worried about that. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy, and I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We're in the Niv. In this video, we are in Numbers, chapter 18, and we are doing the whole chapter, because that's really just how we roll over here. 32 verses. The duties of the priests and the Levites. Now, they're going to be distinguishing here, I suspect, between the descendants of Aaron and the descendants of Moses. But also, potentially, the descendants of Miriam. The Lord said to Moses, "You, your sons," well, the Lord said to Aaron, the Lord said to Aaron, "You, your sons, and your father's family are to bear the responsibility for the offenses against the sanctuary, and you and your sons alone are to bear the responsibility for the offenses against the priesthood. Bring your fellow Levites from your ancestral tribe to join you to assist you when you and your sons minister before the tent of the testimony. They are to be responsible to you and are to perform all the duties of the tent, but they must not go near the furnishings of the sanctuary or the altar, or both they and you will die. They are to join you and be responsible for the care of the tent of meeting and all the work at the tent, and no one else may come near where you are. So that really kind of means like no one else is allowed to have or do the burnt sacrifices on the altar because they can't go in to that sanctuary and be anywhere near the fire. You are responsible for the care of the sanctuary and the altar, so that wrath will not fall on the Israelites again. I myself have selected your fellow Levites from among the Israelites as a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord to do the work at the tent of meeting. But only you and your sons may serve as priests in connection with everything at the altar and inside the curtain. I am giving you the service of the priesthood as a gift. Anyone who comes near the sanctuary must be put to death. Sorry about that. I got a little overheated. Need to take that shirt off. Offering for the priests and the Levites. Verse 8. Then the Lord said to Aaron, I myself have put you in charge of the offerings presented to me. All the holy offerings the Israelites give me, I give to you and your sons as your portion and regular share. You are to have the part of the most holy offerings that is kept from the fire. From all the gifts they bring me as most holy offerings, whether grain or sin or guilt offerings, that belongs to you and your sons, because they have to, eat. Eat it as something most holy. Every male shall eat it. You must regard it as holy. This also is yours. Whatever is set aside from the gifts of all the wave offerings of the Israelites, I give this to you and your sons and daughters as your regular share. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. This is making me smile because I was just having a discussion about this exact kind of thing. About how that influences who they choose to spend time with and who, they choose as partners and everything else, because they need to stay in a state of ceremonially clean. And what this would mean, because it's a wave offering from the Lord, it means it's holy. This means that they and their children eat nothing but holy food. I give you all of the finest olive oil, all of the finest new wine and grain they give the Lord as the first fruits of their harvest. All the land's first fruits that they bring to the Lord will be yours. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. So essentially, if you don't stay ceremonially clean, you don't have any food to eat. Everything in Israel that is devoted, the Hebrew term refers to irrevocably giving over of things or persons to the Lord. Everything that is devoted to the Lord is yours. The first offerings of every womb, both man and animal, that is offered to the Lord is yours. But you must redeem every firstborn son and every firstborn male of unclean animals. When they are a month old, you must redeem them at the redemption price set at 5 shekels, that is about 2 ounces or 55 grams of silver, according to this sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. But you must not redeem the firstborn of an ox, a sheep, or a goat. They are holy. Sprinkle their blood on the altar and burn their fat as offerings made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Their meat is to be yours. just as the breast of the wave offering and the right thigh are yours. Whatever is set aside from the holy offerings the Israelites present to the Lord, I give you and your sons and daughters as your regular share. It is an everlasting covenant of salt before the Lord for both you and your offspring. So, everlasting covenant. The Lord said to Aaron, you will have no inheritance in this land, nor will you have any share among them. I am your share and your inheritance among the Israelites. So they get these things, but they don't get any property. I give to the Levites all the tithes in Israel as their inheritance in return for the work they do while serving at the tent of meeting. From now on, the Israelites must not go near the tent of meeting, or they will bear the consequences of their sin and will die. It is the Levites who are to do the work at the tent of meeting and bear the responsibility for the fences against it. This is a lasting ordinance for generations to come. They will receive no inheritance among the Israelites. Instead, I give to the Levites as their inheritance the tithes that the Israelites present as offerings to the Lord. That is why I said concerning them, they will have no inheritance among the Israelites. All the rest of the tribes get land, so they can grow their own food. They can, raise their own, sheep, cattle, goat, whatever they're going to raise. They can make their own cities. They can fortify. They can do a bunch of stuff. And they do, indeed, go down that path. So they can make their own commerce, their own products. They could trade with each other. They could, have all that going on. But the Levites don't get their own land. So that means they have to live in everybody else's cities or in those outskirts towns or any of the rest of that. So they have to have some way of being able to provide for themselves and their families their goods. Because these are a people where be fruitful and multiply is the rule. Not in their land there is no equality between piety and virginity. That's not what the Lord commanded them to do. So their priests are all, married with kids, and because they would have felt, commanded to do so. Okay, so it's a different type of thing, but they still have to be able to procure what they need for their families. The Lord said to Moses, so it's verse 25. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the Levites and say to them, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe I give you as your inheritance, you must present a tenth of that tithe as the Lord's offering. Your offering will be reckoned to you as grain from the threshing floor or juice from the winepress. In this way, you will present an offering to the Lord from all the tithes you receive from the Israelites. So this way they are still putting money back in the temple coffers in order to supply what the temple needs. From these tithes, you must give the Lord's portion to Aaron the priest. You must give as the Lord's portion the best and holiest parts of everything given to you. He's the high priest. Say to the Levites, when you present the best part, it will be reckoned to you as a product of the threshing floor or the winepress. You and your households may eat the rest of it anywhere. It is your wages for your work at the tent of meeting. By presenting the best part of it, you will not be guilty in this manner. Then you will not defy the holy offerings of the Israelites, and you will not die. So present it. Don't try to hide it, because you're going to get to take it home anyway. So don't be dumb. I feel like God says that to humans a lot. Can you please just, don't be dumb. Please just, I can see you. So don't pretend. So until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Bible Study Part 2. We are still in the NIV. So people are still just going to have to wait until 2026 before we get to the KJV. And then we are still in the book of Mark. We are in chapter 15. We are doing verses 21 through 47. And much longer, I know. But that is because I didn't want to have to break up what comes next in the passage. So this passage is called the Crucifixion. Verse 21. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, the father of Alexander and Rufus, it's pretty specific, was passing by on his way from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross. They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. Then they offered him wine mixed with myrrh. But he did not take it. Because he did say he wouldn't taste any wine until, until after he had risen and stuff. He was specific about that. Remember, he said that in the passages after. At the Last Supper. A couple of days ago, those passages. So, but the purpose of this, now myrrh is usually what they anointed the bodies with to prepare them for burial. Again, something covered yesterday. But the purpose of this would have been a painkiller effect, because in order to get them on the cross, they do have to be very brutal. They do have to break bones. They do have to pull things out of socket. And you can think of it as actually like a mercy to help them not feel that level of torture. And he said no. So he was going to feel absolutely every second of maximum pain possible. Verse 24, and they crucified him, dividing up his clothes. They cast lots to see who would get it. Can you imagine just being up on the cross? I mean, you've been beaten, you've been flogged, you have a crown of thorns, which has got to continually, still, you probably don't even feel it at that point because your sockets have been ripped out. Your legs, your knees have been things, your bones have been broken. You're still alive. You've been beaten, you've been spit on. And now they're gambling for your possessions underneath your feet while you're dying, slowly. And you don't have any no pain relievers going on. It was the third hour when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, the King of the Jews. They crucified 2 robbers with him, one on his right and one on his left. Some manuscripts left, and the scripture was fulfilled, saying, he was counted with lawless ones. Isaiah 53:12. That is actually factual. Whether that's true they left that out here. I don't know what some manuscripts are, but that Isaiah said that, and he did fulfill it. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, so you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, come down from the cross and save yourself. In the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him amongst themselves. He saved others, they said, but he can't save himself. Let this Christ be, or Messiah, this King of Israel, come down from the cross, that we may see and believe. Those who crucified him also heaped insults on him. And it's just like, you've already won in your mind, because you wanted this man dead, and now he's demoralized, he's been beaten in all these ways, and is in the process of dying. But that's not enough. You got to pop off at the mouth, too, to show how evil you really are, because What person delights in the torture and death of another? What kind of human being? Are they even still a human being? I feel like Satan's just in charge there, and they don't even have any human being left. The death of Jesus. Verse 33. At the 6th hour, darkness came over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. I'm not necessarily going to pronounce this right. Sabachthani. Sabachthani? My Hebrew is Saba, because it's Sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Psalm 22:1. When some of those standing near this, they said, listen, he's calling Elijah. One man ran to fill the sponge with wine vinegar and put it on a stick and offered it to Jesus to drink. Now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to take him down, he said. With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. And in that position that they're in, mostly what they're dying of is suffocation. They're slowly, because they can't fill their lungs enough, and then they get exhausted from trying to breathe. So then they slowly just suffocate to death. The curtain of the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. And when the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus heard his cry, and so some manuscripts do not have heard his cry, and saw how he died, he said, surely this man was the son, or a son, of God. Some women were watching from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James the Younger, and of, I say that Jose, so I'm going to say it, Jose, and Salome. In Galilee, these women had followed him and cared for his needs. Many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem were also there. So a large gathering of women, basically on death watch, if you will. Honor guard death watch. It's interesting that they're not really listing a bunch of guys, though, are they? The burial of Jesus. It was preparation day. That is the day before the Sabbath. So as the evening approached, Joseph of Arimathea, a prominent member of the council, who himself, waiting for the kingdom of God, went boldly to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. Pilate was surprised to hear that he was already dead. As I told you, they suffocate to death. Summoning the centurion, he asked if Jesus had already died. When he had learned from the centurion that this was so, he gave the body to Joseph. So Joseph bought some linen cloth, took down the body and wrapped it in linen, and placed it in a tomb cut out of rock. Now, all these things would have been customary for the culture. Then he rolled a stone against the entrance of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of, again, Jose, saw where he was laid. I think that's actually supposed to be Jesus, and there's a typo, because I don't know why they would have it that way. I do believe either that, or it's just the way that Mark is saying that, because, you know, if you go back to Matthew and you're looking at those same one, they like to say it's the mother Mary, like our, you know, like his mother Mary, like that one, like the one with all the statues. Yeah, but the mother of Zebedee's sons, so the mother of James and John, was also present. Okay. Well, until next time. Well, until next video, friends. See you in a few minutes. Hello, friends. Welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Niv. We are in Psalms, Book 2, Psalm 55. And it's a long one, verses 1 through 23, but we're going to do the whole thing. For the director of music, with stringed instruments, a maskil of David. Listen to my prayer, O God. Do not ignore my plea. Hear me and answer me. My thoughts trouble me, and I'm distraught. At the voice of my enemy, at the stares of the wicked, for they bring down suffering upon me and revile me in their anger. My heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death assail me. Fear and trembling have beset me. Horror has overwhelmed me. I said, oh, that I had the wings of a dove. I would fly away and be at rest. I would flee far away and stay in the desert. Selah. I would hurry to my place of shelter, far from the tempest of and storm. Confuse the wicked, O Lord. Confound their speech. For I see violence and strife in the city. Day and night they prowl about on its walls. Malice and abuse are within it. Destructive forces are at work in the city. Threats and lies never leave its streets. If an enemy were insulting me, I would endure it. If a foe were raising himself against me, I would hide from him. But it is you, a man like myself, my companion, my close friend, with whom I once enjoyed sweet fellowship. Oh, it's his friend that betrayed him, as we walked with the throng at the house of God. Let death take my enemies by surprise. Let them go down alive to the grave. For evil finds lodging among them. It's like, let the earth open up and swallow them in an earthquake. But I call to God, and the Lord saves me. Evening, morning, and noon, I cry out in distress, and he hears my voice. He ransoms me unharmed from the battle waged against me, even though many oppose me. God who is enthroned forever, will hear them and afflict them. Selah. Men who never change their ways and have no fear of God. My companion attacks his friends. He violates his covenant. His speech is smooth as butter, yet war is in his heart. His words are more soothing than oil, yet they are drawn swords. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall, but you, O God, will bring down the wicked into the pit of corruption. Bloodthirsty and deceitful men will not live out half their days. But as for me, I trust in you. And amen to that.